Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the human ship Aurora's Dawn. The stars looked the same as always through the big front window. Cold, distant, and quiet. His crew had been flying through space for 3 months now, looking for new planets and checking on old signals. "Captain, I'm getting something strange," said Lisa Park from her seat at the communications desk. She wore the blue uniform of a communications officer and had been with Jake's crew for 2 years. "It's a signal, but it's very old." Jake walked over to look at her screen. Numbers and lines moved across it in patterns he didn't understand. "How old?" "Maybe 200 years, sir. It keeps repeating the same message over and over." Lisa pushed some buttons, and the sound came through the speakers. It was a sad, musical sound that went up and down like someone crying. "Can you figure out what it means?" Jake asked. Lisa nodded and started working. Her fingers moved fast over the keyboard. "Give me a few minutes, Captain. The computer is trying to match it with known languages." Dr. Sam Rodriguez came onto the bridge. He was the ship's doctor and scientist who studied alien life. His brown hair was messy from sleeping, and he carried a cup of coffee. "Did someone say we found an alien signal?" "Maybe," Jake said. "Lisa is working on it now." The 3 of them waited while the computer worked. Other crew members came to watch too. Maria Santos, the chief engineer, stood near the back with her arms crossed. She was a small woman, but everyone knew she was the smartest person on the ship when it came to fixing things. "Got it," Lisa said suddenly. The sad music stopped and a voice came through the speakers. It sounded scared and tired. "Help us." The voice said in broken but clear English, "Our sun is dying. Our world is ending. We have been calling for help for many years. Please, someone answer us. We are the Vellani of planet Keth 7. We will die soon if no one comes." The bridge became very quiet. Jake felt his heart beat faster. An alien race was asking for help, and they had been asking for 200 years. "Are there more signals?" Jake asked. Lisa worked for a few more minutes. "Yes, Captain. Hundreds of them. They've been sending the same message every day for the past 2 centuries. But look at this." She put a new image on the main screen. "Other ships have received these signals too." The screen showed a list of names. The Corvan Empire, the Nexari Federation, the Trillan Consortium. All of them were powerful alien civilizations that humans had met before. "They all got the signals?" Sam asked. "Yes, and they all answered. But look what they said." Lisa played the recordings. The first voice was rough and mean. "Corvan Empire received your signal. Your species offers no military value. Request denied." The second voice was cold and mechanical. "Nexari Federation has calculated rescue costs. Not economically viable. No action will be taken." The third voice sounded friendly but fake. "Trillan Consortium acknowledges your signal. Unfortunately, we have no business interests in your sector. Good luck." Jake felt anger rise in his chest. 3 powerful civilizations had ignored people who were dying. How long do they have? He asked Sam. Sam looked at the data Lisa had found. If their sun is really dying and their planet is getting cold, maybe 6 months, maybe less. "Captain," Maria said from the back of the room, "our orders are to survey the outer rim and report back to Earth Command. We're not supposed to make contact with distressed aliens." Jake knew she was right. Earth Command had given them clear orders about their mission. But he also knew what his heart told him was right. "How far away is their planet?" he asked Lisa. "About 12 days at full speed," she answered. Jake looked around at his crew. There were 15 people on his ship. All of them were looking at him, waiting for his decision. He thought about the scared voice in the alien message. He thought about 200 years of calling for help with no one coming. "Lisa, Send a message back to them, Jake said. Tell them we're coming. Sir, Maria said, Earth Command won't like this. Then we won't tell Earth Command until after we see what's happening, Jake replied. Set course for Keth 7, maximum speed. The crew started moving. Lisa sent the message while the ship's pilot, Danny Chun, changed their direction toward the alien planet. Jake could feel the ship's engines working harder as they sped up. Message sent, Captain, Lisa reported. I told them that humans received their signal and that help is coming. Good, Jake said. He looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, alien people were waiting to die because no one cared enough to help them. But that was about to change. As the Aurora's dawn flew through space toward a planet they had never seen. Jake wondered what they would find there. He wondered if they could really help. But most of all, he wondered why 3 powerful civilizations had turned their backs on people who needed help. The answer to that question would change everything Jake thought he knew about the galaxy. And it would show him what it really meant to be human in a universe full of other intelligent life. The stars didn't look cold and distant anymore. They looked like roads leading to people who needed help. And Jake Morrison was going to make sure his crew took the right road. 12 days later, the Aurora's dawn came out of faster-than-light travel near a red star that looked sick and dim. Jake Morrison stood on the bridge and watched the main screen show them a brown and gray planet that should have been green and blue. That's Keth 7, Lisa Park said quietly. I'm getting hundreds of signals from the surface now. They know we're here. The planet looked terrible. Where there should have been oceans, Jake could see dried up land. Where there should have been forests, there were only dead trees and empty spaces. The ice caps at the top and bottom of the planet were much bigger than they should be. The sun is definitely dying, Dr. Sam Rodriguez said as he looked at his instruments. It's giving off about half the heat and light it should. The planet's temperature has dropped by 30 degrees in the past 50 years. How many people live down there? Jake asked. The signals suggest about 2.3 million, Lisa answered. They're all gathered in the warmer areas near the equator. Jake felt sick. 2 million people were slowly freezing to death, while 3 powerful alien civilizations ignored them. Danny, take us into orbit. Lisa, ask them if we can send down a small team to meet with them. Danny Chun, the ship's pilot, was quiet as he guided them closer to the planet. He had been in the space service for 10 years and had never seen anything. The answer came back quickly. They say yes, Captain, Lisa reported. They're sending coordinates to a place called the Last City. It's where most of their people live now. Jake looked around at his crew. I'm going down there. Danny, you're coming with me. Sam, we need you to study their biology and see how we can help. Maria, I want you to look at their technology and see what's failing. Maria Santos shook her head. Captain, we don't have enough supplies to help 2 million people. We don't have the ships to move them. We don't even have permission from Earth to be here. I know, Jake said, but we have to try. We can't just leave them here to die. 2 hours later, Jake and his team took a small shuttle down to the planet's surface. As they flew through the thin atmosphere, Jake could see the damage everywhere. Cities that were empty and covered in ice. Rivers that had turned to ice. Farmland that was brown and dead. The last city was surrounded by a big clear dome that kept the warm air inside. When their shuttle landed, Jake could see thousands of alien people watching them through the dome's walls. The Vellani were beautiful and strange. They were tall, maybe 7 feet high, with skin that looked like colored glass. Their skin changed colors based on how they felt. Right now, most of them showed blue and gray colors, which Jake guessed meant they were sad and scared. A group of Vellani came to meet them at the airlock. The leader was very old, with skin that had turned almost white. When he spoke, his voice was the same one they had heard in the distress signal. "I am Zefka," the old alien said in careful English. "I am the hope keeper of our people. Are you really here to help us?" Jake took off his helmet and looked into Zefka's large, dark eyes. "Yes, we're humans from Earth. We got your signal, and we came as fast as we could." Zefka's skin flickered with yellow and gold colors. Jake hoped that meant happiness or relief. "Many others got our signals," Zefka said sadly. "The Corvin, the Nexari, the Trillans, they all said no. They said we were not worth saving." "Well, they were wrong," Jake said firmly. "Every life is worth saving." As they walked through the last city, Jake saw how hard the Velani were trying to survive. They had built heating systems from old parts. They grew food in underground farms, using artificial lights. Children played games in small spaces while their parents worked to keep everyone alive. Dr. Sam Rodriguez talked with Velani doctors and scientists. He learned that their people needed warmer temperatures to stay healthy. They ate plants that could only grow in warm, humid air. Their bodies were designed for a planet that was much warmer than Keth 7 had become. Maria Santos looked at their failing power systems and water recyclers. "They're good engineers," she told Jake privately, "but their equipment is breaking down. They're using parts that were never meant to work together. They won't last another year." That night, Jake sat with Zefka in a warm room at the top of the city's central tower. Through the dome above them, Jake could see the weak red sun setting. "How long have you been Hope Keeper?" Jake asked. 40 of your years," Zefka answered. "My father was Hope Keeper before me, his father before him. We have kept hope alive for our people, even when the signals went unanswered. Why didn't you try to leave on your own?" Jake asked. Zepka's skin turned dark purple, which Jake was learning meant deep sadness. "We have no ships that can travel between stars. We are farmers and artists and builders. We never needed to go to other worlds before our sun began to die." Jake felt anger rise in his chest again. The Velani were peaceful people who had never hurt anyone. They had spent their whole civilization growing food and making beautiful things. And now they were dying because no one would help them. "Zefka," Jake said, "I promise you that we will find a way to help your people. I don't know how yet, but we will not let you die here." The old alien skin glowed with soft gold light. "You give me hope, human Jake Morrison. But you are only one small ship. How can you do what 3 great empires would not?" Jake looked up at the dying sun through the dome. "Because we're human. And humans don't leave people behind." The next morning, Jake sent a long message back to Earth Command. He told them everything about the Velani and their dying world. He asked for help, for ships, for supplies, for anything Earth could send. The answer came back 6 hours later. Admiral Kate Hughes herself was on the video screen, and she looked angry. "Captain Morrison, you were ordered to survey planets, not start rescue missions. Return to your assigned patrol area immediately. Admiral, there are 2 million people down here who will die if we don't help them," Jake said. "That's not our problem, Captain. Earth has its own concerns. We can't save every alien species that gets into trouble." Jake felt his heart sink, but then he remembered something. "Admiral, with respect, I'm sending you video recordings of the Velani and their situation. I think the people of Earth should see this and decide for themselves." Admiral Hughes looked confused. "What are you talking about, Captain?" "I'm talking about doing what's right, Admiral." Morrison out. Jake turned off the communication and looked at his crew. They were all watching him with worried faces. "Tony," he said to the ship's communication specialist, "upload everything we've recorded about the Velani to the public networks on Earth. Let people see what's happening here." Tony Garcia smiled and started typing on his keyboard. Yes, sir. Uploading now. Jake knew he was probably ending his career in the space service. But as he looked down at the last city, where 2 million people were slowly dying, he knew he was making the right choice. Sometimes being human meant choosing what was right over what was easy. And Jake Morrison was about to show the galaxy what that meant. 3 days after Tony Garcia uploaded the videos to Earth's networks, everything changed. Jake Morrison was in the last city helping Maria Santos repair a water recycler when Lisa Park's voice came through his radio. Captain, you need to get back to the ship right now, she said, and she sounded excited. Earth Command is calling, and so is someone else. Someone big. Jake rode the shuttle back to the Aurora's dawn as fast as he could. When he got to the bridge, Lisa was smiling bigger than he had ever seen. Captain, the videos went viral on Earth, she said. Everyone is talking about the Villani. People are angry that we were ordered to leave them. And look who's calling us. The main screen showed a woman in an admiral's uniform that Jake didn't recognize. She had gray hair and kind eyes, and she was sitting in what looked like the bridge of a very large ship. Captain Morrison, I'm Admiral Steve Parker of the Earth Defense Fleet, she said. I'm calling from the flagship Endeavor. We're 3 days out from your position, with the largest humanitarian fleet in Earth's history. Jake's mouth fell open. Admiral, I don't understand. Admiral Parker smiled. Captain, when the people of Earth saw what was happening to the Villani, they demanded action. The government tried to stop it, but civilians started buying ships and supplies to send to you. Companies donated equipment. The military couldn't let civilians go into space alone, so here we are. How many ships? Jake asked. 47. Captain, medical ships, transport ships, supply ships, construction ships. We have enough resources to evacuate every Villani from that planet if we need to. Jake felt tears in his eyes. Humans from Earth, people who had never met the Villani, were coming to help strangers just because it was the right thing to do. There's more, Admiral Parker continued. Dr. Rodriguez, are you there? Sam stepped forward. Yes, ma'am. We've been working with your data about Villani biology. We think we found a planet that could work for them. It's called Haven 3, about 6 days from your current position. It's warmer than Earth, has the right atmosphere, and it's not claimed by any government. Maria Santos spoke up. Admiral, even if we move all the Villani to this new planet, it won't. Be ready for them. They need specific plants and temperature ranges. It could take years to make it livable. That's where you're wrong, Chief Santos, Admiral Parker said with a grin. We're bringing terraforming equipment, the kind we use to make new colony worlds. We can have basic habitats set up in weeks and a full ecosystem in months. Jake couldn't believe what he was hearing. Admiral, the cost of all this must be enormous. Captain, do you know what happened when people on Earth saw your videos? Schools held fundraisers. Corporations donated money. Old retired people sent their savings. An 8-year-old girl in New York sold her toys to help. The response was so big that Earth's government had to act or face a revolution. Over the next 3 days, Jake and his crew worked with the Villani to prepare for the evacuation. They made lists of who needed medical help first. They packed important cultural items and history records. They explained to frightened families that humans were coming to help them. ZEPH-Ka worked beside Jake every day. The old Hope Keeper's skin showed brighter colors now. Gold and green, it meant hope and trust. Your people are special, Jake Morrison, Zefka said as they organized supplies. In all our years of calling for help, only humans answered. Maybe we're just stubborn, Jake said. No, Zefka replied. You are kind. In a galaxy full of empires that care only about power and money, your people care about life itself. When the Earth fleet arrived, Jake watched from the last city as 47 ships filled the sky above Kef 7. They were all different sizes and shapes. Some were military vessels painted gray and white. Others were civilian ships with bright colors and the names of companies that had donated them. Admiral Parker came down to the surface to meet with Jake and Zefka. She was a tall woman with strong hands and eyes that had seen many battles. Hope Keeper Zefka, she said formally. On behalf of the people of Earth, I offer our help to your people. We ask nothing in return except the chance to do what's right. Zefka's skin glowed with pure gold light. Admiral Parker, the Velani accept your offer with gratitude that will last for all time. But not everyone in the galaxy was happy about what the humans were doing. On the second day of the evacuation, a Corvan battle fleet arrived at the edge of the system. Their leader, War Commander Thakro, sent a threatening message. Human ships, you are interfering in a sector under Corvan protection. Leave immediately, or face the consequences. Admiral Parker's answer was broadcast on all frequencies. War Commander, we are conducting a humanitarian rescue mission. We have no military objectives here. Stand down. The weak do not deserve to survive. Thakro replied, you humans are fools to waste resources on this dying species. Jake felt sick when he heard that. The Corvan thought the Velani deserved to die just because they weren't strong fighters. Things got worse when the Trillion Consortium arrived with their lawyers and corporate executives. They claimed that Haven 3 was in their territory, and that humans couldn't take the Velani there without paying huge fees. This is Corporate Executive Vensul, came the message from the Trillion ships. The planet you call Haven 3 has been claimed by the Trillion Consortium. Any attempt to settle it will result in legal action. Admiral Parker called a meeting with Jake and the other ship captains. They gathered in the conference room of the Endeavor while the evacuation continued around them. We have a problem, Admiral Parker said. The Corvan are threatening to attack if we don't leave. The Trillions are claiming Haven 3 belongs to them. And we're getting reports that the Nexari Federation is sending ships too. What do we do? Asked Captain Beth Cooper, who commanded one of the civilian transport ships. Jake stood up. We keep helping the Velani. We don't let bullies stop us from doing what's right. The Corvan have battle cruisers, Captain, said Nick Thompson, the captain of a medical ship. We have cargo haulers and hospital ships. They could destroy us easily. Maybe, Jake said, but they won't. How can you be sure? Admiral Parker asked. Jake looked out the window at the evacuation ships, loading Velani families. Because the whole galaxy is watching now. If the Corvan attack ships full of refugees and medical supplies, everyone will see what kind of people they really are. Admiral Parker nodded slowly. You're right, Captain. We continue the mission. We don't back down. As if to test their resolve, the Corvan ships moved closer. Their weapons powered up, showing they were ready to fight. The Trillion ships positioned themselves between the human fleet and Haven 3, blocking the route to the new planet. Jake went back to the last city that night to help with the final preparations. Most of the Velani had already been evacuated, but a few thousand remained, including Zefka. Are you afraid, Hopekeeper? Jake asked as they worked together. CEPHAK's skin showed deep blue and purple colors. Yes, I am afraid. But I am also grateful. For the first time in 200 years, my people have hope. Whatever happens now, you humans have given us the greatest gift possible. What's that? Jake asked. The knowledge that we are not alone. That somewhere in this cold universe, there are people who care about strangers. That love is stronger than fear. Jake felt a warm feeling in his chest. Tomorrow, they would face the Corvan battle fleet and the Trillion lawyers. They would risk everything to save people they had never met before. But tonight, Jake Morrison knew that being human meant something special. It meant that no one had to face the darkness alone. The confrontation began at dawn on the 4th day of evacuation. Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Aurora's dawn, watching the Corvan battle fleet form a line between the human ships and the route to Haven 3. 20 massive warships, each one bigger than any human vessel, hung in space like dark metal sharks. All human ships. This is War Commander Thakro, came the harsh voice over the radio. You have 30 minutes to abandon this rescue operation and leave this system. Any ship that attempts to pass our line will be destroyed. Admiral Parker's voice came back strong and clear. War Commander, we are evacuating dying civilians to safety. These people have done nothing wrong. Stand aside. The Velani are weak. They deserve their fate. You humans are fools to waste resources on the worthless. Jake felt anger burn in his chest. He grabbed the radio and switched to the frequency that reached every ship in the system, including the news ships that had come to watch the evacuation. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the Aurora's Dawn. I have a message for everyone listening. The Velani are not weak. They are farmers and artists and teachers. They built beautiful cities and lived in peace for thousands of years. The only reason they're dying is because their sun is failing, and that's not their fault. He paused and looked at the Corvan ships on his screen. War Commander Thakro, you call them weak because they don't build weapons or conquer other planets. But I think that makes them stronger than you. It takes more courage to create than to destroy. Your words mean nothing, human, Thakro replied. Power is the only truth in this galaxy. Then let me show you real power, Jake said. He switched to the frequency that reached all the human ships. All vessels, continue the evacuation. We're not backing down. The human fleet kept working. Transport ships continued loading Villani families, while medical ships treated the sick and injured. Construction ships headed toward Haven 3 to start building habitats for the refugees. But the Trillans had their own plan. Corporate executive Ven Sewell contacted the Galactic Council and filed legal papers claiming that Haven 3 belonged to the Trillan Consortium. Within hours, a galactic court order came through, demanding that all ships stop at once. Attention, human. Fleet, came Ven Sewell's smooth voice. The Galactic Council has ruled that Haven 3 is Trillan property. Any attempt to land on that planet without paying proper fees will result in seizure of your ships and imprisonment of your crews. Admiral Parker called an emergency meeting with her captains. They gathered in the Endeavor's main briefing room, while the evacuation continued outside. The legal situation is complicated, Parker said. The Trillans filed their claim only yesterday, but they're saying they had mineral rights to Haven 3 for years. The Galactic Court is full of judges who take bribes from big corporations. What are the fees they want? Asked Captain Beth Cooper. 50 million credits per person we relocate, Admiral Parker replied. For 2 million Valani, that's 100 billion credits. Captain Nick Thompson whistled low. That's more money than Earth spends on space operations in 10 years. It's a trap, said Maria Santos, who had come to represent the Aurora's Dawn. They know we can't pay that much. They're trying to stop us without having to fight. Jake stood up. Then we ignore them. Captain Morrison, if we break galactic law, Earth could be banned from space trade, Admiral Parker warned. Admiral, with respect, sometimes laws are wrong. 100 years ago, there were laws on Earth that said some people could own other people as slaves. Good people broke those laws because it was the right thing to do. The room was quiet for a moment. Then, Captain Cooper spoke up. Morrison's right. We can't let corporate lawyers stop us from saving lives. I agree, said Nick Thompson. My ship is full of sick Villani children. I'm not turning around now." One by one, every captain in the room agreed. They would continue the evacuation, no matter what the Galactic Court said. But the real test came when the Corvin moved to attack. War Commander Thakro lost patience with warnings. His ships powered up their weapons and moved toward the human transport vessels. "Human fools, you have chosen death," Thakro announced. "We will destroy your ships and leave the Villani to freeze." That's when something unexpected happened. Dr. Sam Rodriguez, who had been working with Villani children in the last city, made a discovery that changed everything. "Captain Morrison, you need to see this," Sam called over the radio. He was in the medical center, treating young Villani who were sick from the cold. Jake hurried to the medical center and found Sam working with a group of Villani children. They were playing with what looked like colored crystals, but the crystals were glowing with their own light. "Sam, what am I looking at?" Jake asked. "The children were making these to thank us for helping them," Sam explained. "But look what happens when I connect them to our power systems." Sam attached the crystals to a small device. Immediately, the device started working better and using less energy. "The crystals store and focus energy," Sam said excitedly. "They're better than any power source we have. If we could use these on our ships, our weapons would be stronger," Jake realized. "Our shields would be better." A young Villani girl named Lumsi, who was Zefka's granddaughter, came over to them. Her skin was showing happy yellow colors. "The pretty crystals are for the nice humans," she said in careful English. "Grandfather says you are saving us, so we want to help you too." Jake knelt down to look at the little girl. "Lemsi, these crystals could help us protect your people from the bad ships out there. Would that be okay?" Lemsi's skin turned bright. "Gold. Yes. We want to help fight the mean aliens who want to hurt everyone." Within 2 hours, Villani engineers were working with human technicians to install the crystal power systems on the human ships. The crystals made their shields twice as strong and their weapons much more powerful. War Commander Thakro finally attacked. He got a surprise. His first shots bounced off the improved human shields like raindrops off a window. "Impossible," Thakro said over the radio. "Human ships cannot have such strong defenses." "We have something you don't understand, War Commander," Jake replied. "We have friends." The battle was short. The human ships, powered by Villani crystals and fighting to protect innocent people, drove off the Corvin fleet. Thakro's ships retreated to the edge of the system, their weapons damaged and their pride broken. But the victory came with a cost. The fighting had scared many people in the galaxy. Some thought humans were becoming too aggressive. Others wondered if the crystal technology made humans too powerful. The Nexari Federation sent their own ships to watch the situation. Their leader, High Scientist Kelvex, contacted Admiral Parker with a warning. "Admiral Parker, the Nexari Federation is concerned about human expansion in this sector. Your use of unknown weapons technology and your interference in local affairs will not be tolerated." "High Scientist, we are conducting a rescue mission," Parker replied. "We have no interest in expansion or conquest. Nevertheless, the Federation will take action if humans continue to destabilize this region." Jake listened to the exchange from the Aurora's dawn. He was tired of alien governments threatening them just for helping people who needed it. "Admiral, request permission to speak," he said. "Go ahead, Captain." Jake switched to the frequency that reached every ship in the system. News reporters, alien governments, and civilian observers all heard what he said next. "My name is Captain Jake Morrison of Earth. I want everyone to understand something. Humans didn't come here to conquer anyone or steal anything. We came because people were dying and no one else would help them." He paused and looked at the Villani transport ships on his screen. The Corvin said the Villani deserved to die because they were weak. The Trillans said saving them wasn't profitable enough. The Nexari said it wasn't logical. But here's what I think. A civilization is not measured by how strong its weapons are, or how much money it makes. It's measured by how it treats people who can't help themselves. Jake's voice got stronger. The galaxy is full of empires that care only about power and profit. But humanity chooses a different path. We choose to help. We choose to care. We choose to risk everything for people we've never met because it's the right thing to do. He looked directly at the camera that was broadcasting his words across the galaxy. So here's our message to every government and corporation that thinks they can threaten us into abandoning these people. You're wrong. We're not leaving. We're not backing down. And if that makes us your enemy, then history will remember who chose correctly. The transmission ended. For a moment, space around Keth 7 was completely quiet. Then something amazing happened. Young officers on Nexari ships began refusing orders to attack the humans. Corvin warriors started deserting their ships to join the rescue mission. Even some Trillan executives quietly donated supplies to help the Vellani. Jake's words had reached more than just alien governments. They had reached the hearts of ordinary people throughout the galaxy who are tired of leaders who valued power over compassion. The evacuation continued, and no one tried to stop it anymore. 6 months later, Jake Morrison stood on a hill overlooking New Keth City on Haven 3. The city was beautiful, with crystal spires that caught the light from Haven 3's healthy yellow sun. Vellani children played in parks while their parents worked in gardens full of colorful plants from their old world. The evacuation had been completed just in time. 2 weeks after the last Vellani left Keth 7, their old sun had died completely. The planet was now a frozen ball of ice drifting through space. But the Vellani people lived on, safe and happy on their new world. It's beautiful, isn't it? Said. A voice behind him. Jake turned to see Admiral Parker walking up the hill. She looked tired but happy. The past 6 months had been busy for everyone involved in the rescue. It's more than I ever imagined, Jake said. When we first heard their distress call, I just wanted to help them survive. I never thought we'd end up building them a whole new civilization. The Vellani did most of the building themselves, Parker reminded him. We just gave them the chance. That was true. Once the Vellani reached Haven 3, they had worked with amazing speed to build their new home. Their crystal technology, combined with human terraforming equipment, had turned a barren planet into a garden world in just 6 months. Have you heard from Earth lately? Jake asked. Parker smiled. The president is planning to visit next month. She wants to make Haven 3 an official ally of Earth. The rescue mission has changed everything back home. People are talking about expanding our humanitarian programs throughout the galaxy. Jake nodded. The rescue of the Vellani had made humans famous across the galaxy, but not in the way most species expected. Instead of being feared as conquerors, humans were now known as the people who would help anyone in trouble. Admiral, there's something I need to tell you, Jake said. I got a message this morning. It's another distress call. Parker raised an eyebrow. From where? A species called the Kithara. Their planet is being attacked by space pirates, and they can't defend themselves. They heard about what we did for the Vellani. Parker was quiet for a moment. How far away are they? About 3 weeks, Jake answered. And Admiral, they're not the only ones calling for help. Since word spread about the Vellani rescue, we've gotten distress calls from 12 different species. Some are dealing with natural disasters. Others are being attacked by stronger neighbors. All of them are asking for human help. 12 species. Parker said slowly. Jake, we can't save everyone in the galaxy. Maybe not, Jake replied. But we can try to save as many as we can. They were interrupted by the sound of footsteps. Zef Ka was walking up the hill toward them, moving slowly because of his age, but with purpose in his step. His skin showed the gold and green colors that meant happiness and peace. "Jake Morrison, Admiral Parker," the old Vellani said as he reached them. "I was hoping to find you here." "Hope Keeper," Jake said with a smile. "How are the new settlements doing?" "Very well. The crystal farms are producing more energy than we need, and our artists have created beautiful works to decorate the city." Zefka paused and looked at the city below. "But I did not come to talk about our success. I came to talk about our future." "What do you mean?" Admiral Parker asked. Zeph-Ka turned to face them both. "For 200 years, my people called for help and no one came. But you humans came. You risked everything to save strangers. Now it is time for us to do the same." Jake felt confused. "I don't understand, Hopekeeper." "I heard you talking." "About the Cathara," Zefka said. "About the other species calling for help. You are wondering how humanity can save so many people. But you are not alone anymore." The old Vellani smiled, and his skin glowed with bright gold light. "The Vellani Council has voted. We want to join you in helping others. Our ships, our technology, our people. Everything we have is ready to help rescue other species in trouble." Jake felt his heart beat faster. "Hopekeeper, that's incredibly generous, but you've just started rebuilding your own civilization." "Jake Morrison," Zefka said firmly, "you taught us that a civilization is measured by how it treats people who cannot help themselves. We learned from you. Now we want to teach others." Admiral Parker looked amazed. "You're talking about creating a rescue fleet. Humans and Vellani working together to help species in trouble." "Not just humans and Vellani," Zefka said. "Yesterday, I received a message from High Scientist Kelvex of the Nexari Federation. She is leaving her government to join our cause. Many young Nexari scientists want to come with her." Jake remembered Kelvex. She had been one of the Nexari leaders who threatened the humans during the Vellani rescue. "She's joining us?" She said that watching humans risk everything for strangers made her remember why she became a scientist. Zefka explained, "To help people, not just to make her government more powerful." Over the next hour, Zefka told them about other species that wanted to join the rescue efforts. Young Corvan warriors who were tired of endless wars. Trillian engineers who wanted to use their skills to build homes instead of mining equipment. Even some former space pirates who had decided they wanted to protect people instead of robbing them. "It's like a galactic revolution," Admiral Parker said wonderfully. "People from every species deciding they want to help instead of hurt." 3 weeks later, Jake stood on the bridge of the Aurora's dawn as it led a fleet of 40 ships toward the Cathara homeworld. The fleet included human vessels, Vellani crystal ships, Nexari science vessels, and even a few reformed Corvan warships. Doctor Sam Rodriguez worked alongside Vellani healers and Nexari doctors to prepare medical supplies. Maria Santos shared engineering knowledge with Trillian technicians who had volunteered to help. The bridge crew included humans, Vellani, and other species working together as one team. "Captain Morrison," said Lumsey, who was now grown up, serving as the ship's Vellani liaison officer. "We're receiving a message from the Cathara." The main screen showed a reptilian alien with worried eyes. "This is Defense Commander Sith of the Cathara Republic. Human ships, are you really coming to help us?" "Yes, Commander," Jake replied. "We're bringing medical supplies, defense equipment, and personnel from several species. We'll be there in 6 hours." The Cathara commander's eyes filled with tears. "We thought no one would come. The pirates have been attacking our colony worlds for months. Our people are frightened and hungry." "Not anymore," Jake said firmly. "Help is on the way." As the rescue fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the Cathara homeworld, Jake could see pirate ships retreating into deep space. The pirates had heard about human rescue fleets and the powerful allies they brought. Most pirates preferred easier targets. The rescue operation went smoothly. Human and Velani ships drove off the remaining pirates, while Nexari scientists helped repair damaged Kithara cities. Within a week, the Kithara were safe, and their world was protected by a defense network built by volunteers from 6 different species. But the most important moment came when young Kithara soldiers asked to join the rescue fleet. They wanted to help other species the way they had been helped. A year later, Jake Morrison was promoted to admiral and put in charge of the Galactic Rescue Service. The organization now included volunteers from 23 different species and operated from bases throughout the galaxy. They had saved the aquatic dolphins from a poisoned ocean. They had relocated the mountain-dwelling Strix before their planet's volcanoes erupted. They had stopped wars, prevented famines, and brought hope to dozens of worlds. But Jake's favorite moment came during the first anniversary celebration of New Keth City. As he watched children from 12 different species playing together in the parks, he realized that something amazing had happened. Humanity had come to space looking for new worlds and new knowledge. But they had found something much more valuable: the chance to make the galaxy a better place for everyone. EPH-Ka, now very old but still wise, sat beside Jake during the celebration ceremony. "Do you know what you humans did?" the old Velani asked. "We helped some people who needed it," Jake said modestly. CEP-Ka's skin glowed with warm gold light. "No, Jake Morrison. You did something much more important. You showed the galaxy what it means to be truly civilized. You proved that kindness is stronger than fear, that compassion is more powerful than conquest." The old Hope Keeper looked up at the stars visible through the dome above them. For thousands of years, species in this galaxy believed that only the strong deserved to survive, that only profit and power mattered. But you humans taught us a different way. You taught us that the strong should protect the weak, that those who have much should help those who have little. Jake felt tears in his eyes as he watched Velani children teaching human children how to grow crystal flowers. "The best part," Ka continued, "is that the lesson is spreading. Every species you save learns to help others. Every world you protect becomes a place of hope. Your human compassion is like a bright light in the darkness, and it grows brighter every day." As the celebration continued around them, Jake Morrison looked up at the stars and smiled. Somewhere out there, other species might be calling for help, and when they did, they would not call in vain, because in a galaxy that had forgotten how to care, humanity had remembered. And they had taught the universe that the greatest strength of all was the willingness to help a stranger in need. Rescue fleet was ready. Hope was